Hello there, this is Top TV and you are on to the newspaper review here on Top TV. My name is William Sabule and I'm very excited to have you join me here on the program. Today is the fourth day and it's a Friday here from the city of Port Harcourt and around the world also. If this is the first time you're seeing this video, well, this is where we'll be bringing you the headlines across newspapers around Nigeria. We get to talk about them. But for today, I'm going to be doing this alone. Yes, as Mr. Victor Sioko is unavoidably absent. So we're going to be together, you and I. We're going to go through these headlines and get to analyze them. So get ready to drop your comments and your reactions on the comment sections as I read the headlines to you and get to talk about them. Drop your comments. I want to know what you think about these headlines too. So let's get interactive as we carry on with the program. Don't forget that we're also on other social media handles. We're on Facebook as Top TV. On Instagram is Top TV _NG, and on Twitter is at Top TV. So connect with us on all of this platform. We'd love to have you, stay with us all here on Top TV. All right, without wasting your time, let's go straight to taking the headlines on the program. And for today, we'll begin our readings on This Day newspaper, that very paper of repute. All right, the headlines there on This Day from the beginning there, it says, Buhari rejoices with Femi Otedola on his 60th birthday. Well, that one, I think when I saw the yacht, did you see that yacht that Femi Otedola rented or chartered to celebrate his 60th birthday? Is worth millions of dollars, and it's a very, very beautiful yacht. And it's going to be there for 2 weeks with his family and close friends. So, I mean, go check it out. I'm sure you're going to be amazed at that. And to think that the president took time out to celebrate this great Nigerian, it's something to reckon with. And it's really good. Femi Otedola has been a great help, just like Dangote too has been a great contributor to our economy as a nation. So he's what? Celebrating at his 60th birthday. He has come of age too. All right, we'll carry on with the headlines here. It says, crisis over Oloto stool as Remi Tinubu allegedly imposes aid. You find that story on page 50 of This Day newspaper. Moving on to other stories here. It says, UN lauds Obasanjo's role as Ethiopia. Tigray signed peace deal. We move downwards. It says 2023 elections won't be decided in Paris or Dubai. APC mocks PDP. Atiku says opposition party is drowning. Kicks off campaign in Jos November 15th. To the major headline on This Day, it says Malaye scolds Shetima, says presidential villa not for bandits. Atiku, we are yet to resolve PDP crisis, but we have moved ahead. Declares no cabal will run his government. Insists call for Ayu's removal untimely. Counterproductive. And lastly, it also says there, promises to support death penalty for kidnappers as president. All right, for that story, we all know that Dino Melaye is the spokesman for the campaign, Atiku campaign, for the 2023 general elections, and he has been responding to all the, backlashes, all the insults that have been coming from the APC. But we all know that that's not what we expect these parties to be doing at the moment. They also came out to sign a peace accord and also declared that they are going to have issue-based campaign, just as Inec has also advised them to do. So little wonder that they are breaking this, this peace accord and the agreement to have issue-based campaigns. And for now, they have been throwing words, especially that of the APC and the PDP. They've been throwing words at each other. They are not really coming down to face the issues that are on ground, and that's very unfortunate. And these are the things that we keep telling our viewers. As a Nigerian, you should keep your eyes wide open and begin to read in between the lines what these politicians are saying. You will know clearly if they have a program that will really improve the lives of you, Nigerian. So please, as they go about their campaign and telling themselves that this one has a big head, that one has a small head, this one has money in his cupboard, that one has skeleton in his cupboard, my brothers and my sisters watching, please keep your eyes and your ears open, because this is the best time to know leaders that mean well for this country and are ready to contribute to the growth of this nation. Nigeria is in a very, very bad state at the moment. Whether you want to try to milk it, make it look anyhow, the reality on ground is that we are in a serious dilemma as a country. And what we need are leaders that are going to change the tides of this nation. So keep your ears on the ground. Try not to be very sentimental and focus on the issues that these people, these presidential candidates are putting forward. So if you're not comfortable with a candidate, please look out for what the next candidate is doing. But as for these insults that the APC and the PDP has been holding at themselves, it is not something that is really sweet to hear. One would think that these parties would have been mature in politics at this time and would approach their campaigns differently, but unfortunately, that's what we get to see. All right, let's move on to our next paper today, and that will be the Daily Sun. On the Daily Sun, as headlines, we see here, Kanu asks Supreme Court to squash stay of execution order. That story you'll find on page 3 of the Daily Sun newspaper. Also moving on, we see stoppage of Abia's AFDP loan. Oti lied, Igbeazu's aid. That story is on page 2. The main headline on the Daily Sun, it says 2023 polls. Inec puts Rex on watch list. Bars them from contact with government houses. Promises not to disappoint Nigerians. All right, at the very bottom of the Daily Sun, it says, making Obi president, no Tea Party. Adebanjo, Atiku remains Nigeria's best option. Okonkwo speaking there. Find that story on page 13 of the Daily Sun. All right, but interesting headlines here on the Daily Sun, but I'm going to talk on the 2023 polls. INEC puts Rex on watch list. Quite an interesting times. So recently, the INEC chairman in person of Mahmood inaugurated about 19 new Rex, state Rex and all of that. So he's telling them that we have our eyes on you. This is not the time to be holding meetings with politicians or, visiting government house. That is not your job role. Your job role and your allegiance is to Nigerians, is to ensure that there is fairness in the election, which I think is a very timely advice. We don't even need to advise them, but because of the country we find ourselves, we find out that people, or these Rex might, be finding means or avail themselves to all of this foul play. And in this coming election, Nigerians, both the president, although, he has said it, that he's committed to ensuring free and fair elections come, the general elections. We're also seeing that body language in the INEC chairman and the way he has been carrying out his duty, insisting that INEC is not going to change the beavers' mode of voting and all of that. He's been doing a lot to ensure that these elections come out or looks fair. Even from now, from the campaign period, he's been doing so much, advising even the party candidates to ensure that they have issue-based campaigns and all of that. So this advice going to the Rex, very good one and very timely. I hope they listen and I hope they do the right thing moving up to the general elections. They should avoid government houses. So they don't have any business there. They should avoid meetings, unnecessary meetings with politicians and all of that. They don't have any business with politicians. Their business is to ensure that, votes are rightly counted and transmitted to the sources where they should go to. That is their job. So all these meetings or trying to cut corners, we don't want to see that. And Nigerians too, we should keep our eyes open and report people that will try to sabotage this coming elections. All right, we'll continue with our headlines, but I'm going to take a short break. When we come back, we're going to take 2 more papers, and then we are done for the day. You stay tuned. We'll be right back. Now that you have registered for your PVC, it doesn't stop there. Ensure you pick up your PVC. Be alert. Join many Nigerians to vote credible leaders that will change the tide of this nation. Do not sell your vote. Remember, this is our future. Your vote is your voice.
This message is proudly brought to you by Thav Media Limited.
All right, welcome back from that short break. We're still here on the Newspaper Review. My name is William Sabule, and yes, I'm doing this alone for today. All right, we're going to go back into our papers. Don't forget that you can also be a part of this. Drop your comments and your reactions on the comment section. I want to know what you think about these headlines for today, the 4th day in the month of November 2022. So we are jumping right into the papers and we're going to Vanguard. Vanguard for today reads as strike. ASU raises eyebrow over selected payment of medical lecturers. All right. Bayelsa not among 10 most flood hit states. Federal government, and you find details of that story on page 9 of the Vanguard. Moving downwards to the main headline, it says, insecurity policy somersault threatens food security. Experts advocate focus on security of lives, properties. BOI, DBN, Fidelity Bank harps on increased collaborations. Details you find on page 10 of the Vanguard. Moving on to other headlines, it says here, Afeni Fere Fasuranti recants, says Adebanjo's acting leader. You find that story on page 5 of the Vanguard newspaper. So let me start with that story. Some days ago, we saw where Fasuranti, the alleged leader of the Pan-Yoruba Nations Group, that's the Afenifere, coming out to lay hands on the APC presidential candidate, that is Bola Ahmed Tinubu, and some word that meant that he had given his blessing to Tinubu. So that raised a lot of uproar, people talking here and there, asking that before that time, the known leader of the Afenifere, that is Pa Adebayo, has also given his blessing to Peter Obi. So what was the clash about? What was the clash of interest? What was going on? A lot of people wondered, but right now we also see that Fasuranti, in another interview, Fasuranti also said that Adebayo is not the leader of Afenifere, and that created a lot of confusion. But now he's coming out to say in this report that, oh yes, Adebayo is the acting leader of Afenifere, and that Tinubu visited him and all of that. So you see, to make it clear, Adebayo is still insisting that the Yoruba nations have given their support to Obi, and that to vote Obi into government is not like a walk in the park, it's not a tea party. It's going to take a lot of effort. And in one of his speech in a book launch in Lagos, he's encouraging Nigerians to give Obi their full support by ensuring that they go out to vote. Even though he didn't talk about what Fasuranti did, why he anointed Tinubu and all of that, he's just saying that might just be a visit, and maybe the pictures Nigerians saw might just be for the optics. So, but if you need to get details of that, please do well to pick up Vanguard newspaper and read up that story. So let's take our last paper for today, and that will be the Daily Trust newspaper here. We see here, Inec chairman to Rex, don't go to government houses. Yes, he's repeating it there. Don't go to government houses. You don't have any business there. All right, other stories here with the Naira redesign, 3 governors under our radar over stashed cash. EFCC chair says state chief executives mulling table payment to launder money. Commission to intensify BDC's raid. Monitor banks. Cautions people selling property to hoarders. All right, and then we also see here Buhari commissions Nigeria-Cameroon joint border post bridge. We are not against salary increase for all workers, but, all right, if you need to know what that but is all about, please go to page 27 of the Daily Trust newspaper. You'll find details of that. Other stories here, we see federal government to fund Kaduna Kano other rail projects with Chinese, Portuguese, Turkish loans. All right, but first, let me go to the story of 3 governors under our radar over stashed cash. EFCC chairman speaking. All right. Well, I mean, it is true that the federal government began some kind of war against politicians and Nigerians that are hoarding money. And we are beginning to see those results, all over the places. Remember last time we talked about someone in Kogi State that is vying for House of Representatives that was caught with millions of dollars in his possession, and that, raised a lot of surprise in the hearts of many. How people will stash up money to that huge sum in their houses and are moving around. Right now, EFCC is saying they have their eyes on 3 governors, and we are watching too. We are watching closely to see how that is going to play out. Whether these governors are going to somehow fall into their trap or something, we are watching. But the most important thing is that these funds are beginning to make its way back into the public. I saw in one picture where somebody put out or snapped a note from 2003 that, that somebody used to pay him recently. A note that has been in circulation since 2003, very clean. It was just like as if he just withdrew it from the bank. And it was surprising to me because after almost 10 years of being, over 10 years, almost 20 years, I beg your pardon, 20 years of being, in market or being produced, and then it is just making its way into public use. That's to tell you that the move by the federal government to, mop up this cash is beginning to yield fruit. And for these governors that are hoarding money, what are you keeping money in your houses for? What is the purpose of starching up money? If this money are clean money, they are supposed to be in circulation. Use it to transact business. But because they are, embezzled funds, they are being stashed up in their houses and all of that. But then the move by the CBN is going to either make them lose all this money, or of course, it will be brought out, and of course, then we don't know what will be the play. But that's all I'll be taking today on the newspaper review. Do well to drop your comments and their reactions on the comment section. I'd love to know what you think about these headlines I've read out to you. You can also pick up these papers from the newspaper stand and then read up the details of the story. Until next time I come your way again, my name is William Sabule, and this has been the newspaper review. See you next time.